Life has a strange way of unfolding, doesn't it? One moment, everything feels like it's falling apart. And in the next moment, you begin to see a hidden beauty emerging behind the chaos. We spend so much of our time worrying about the future, stressing over the details, wondering if things will ever work out. We think that stress is a sign that something is going wrong. But what if stress is actually a sign that something is going right? What if the very pressure you feel today is shaping the exact blessing God has prepared for you tomorrow? Think about it for a moment. The seed must be buried in darkness before it breaks through into the sunlight. The arrow must be pulled backward before it launches forward with power. The diamond must endure intense heat and pressure before it shines. So why do we forget that the same principle applies to us? Why do we assume that struggle means God has abandoned us, when in reality, the struggle is often the foundation of a miracle? You might be carrying stress right now that feels too heavy for your shoulders. You might be questioning your path, doubting your purpose, feeling exhausted by everything that isn't going the way you planned. And yet, even here, even in this very moment, God is quietly at work, turning your stress into strength, turning your worry into wisdom, turning your discomfort into direction, turning your chaos into clarity. We think stress is the enemy, but stress is not always destructive. Sometimes stress is the birthplace of transformation. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. Whenever life squeezes you, pushes you, challenges you, that is the universe saying, there's more inside you than you realize. God knows the capability He placed within your soul, and sometimes the only way to pull that greatness out is to allow you to walk through experiences that awaken you to your true power. You see, we humans desire comfort. We want the answers before we take the first step. We want safety, predictability, assurance that everything will turn out fine. But God is not trying to keep you comfortable. God is trying to make you capable of handling the very blessings you are praying for. Imagine giving a huge blessing to someone who is not ready to carry it. It would crush them, not bless them. So instead, God allows your stress to build resilience. He allows discomfort to shape your character. He allows delay to build your patience, because the blessing He is preparing for you is not small. It's not ordinary. It's not temporary. It is something life-changing, something divine, something that will transform your entire story. You might say, but why can't God just give me the blessing without the stress? And the answer is simple. Without the stress, you would not appreciate the blessing. Without the struggle, you would not recognize the miracle. Without the pressure, you would not grow into the version of yourself that is ready to receive what's coming. Every tear you cried, every night you stayed awake with worry, every moment you questioned why life is so difficult, is part of a divine process that is turning pain into purpose, confusion into clarity, and stress into a huge blessing that will make you look back and whisper, "Now I understand why it had to happen this way." Sometimes you think you're losing everything, when in reality, you're just shedding what you no longer need. Sometimes God closes a door, not to punish you, but to redirect you towards something better, something aligned with the greatness inside you. And if that door had remained open, you would have settled for less than what is meant for you. So when life becomes heavy, instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" try saying, "What is this teaching me?" Instead of saying, "God, please remove this stress," try saying, "God, please reveal what this stress is preparing me for." Because the moment you shift your perspective, everything changes. You begin to see that stress is not random. It is strategic. It is not a curse. It is a calling. It is not something blocking your blessing. It is something building your blessing. God is not done with you. Not even close. The things that feel overwhelming today will soon become the very things you are grateful for. Breathe. Look at your life from a distance. Notice how every challenge you have survived so far has shaped you into someone wiser than before. stronger than before, more compassionate than before. You have already overcome so much, and yet you are still here, still standing, still hoping, still trying. That alone proves that God is working deeply within your spirit. When you surrender your stress into God's hands, something begins to shift inside you. A calm rises where panic once lived. A knowing appears where doubt once controlled you. You start to trust the unfolding of your journey, even when you don't understand it, and trust is the greatest form of faith. Many people pray for blessings, but very few allow God to prepare them properly. Very few accept the discomfort that leads to transformation. But you are not like everyone else. You have been chosen to carry a blessing so large that it requires a season of stretching first. So if you feel stretched, it means God is expanding you for what's coming. Not shrinking you, expanding you. Not weakening you, strengthening you. Not rejecting you, redirecting you. God is setting the stage for your breakthrough. And breakthrough always comes after pressure, always after tension, always after stress. So keep going. Don't lose faith just because the path feels heavy. Everything you are experiencing right now has purpose. Every moment of pressure is pushing you closer to the blessing that is already on its way, a blessing so big that when it arrives, you will forget the weight of the stress you carried to get there. God is preparing something extraordinary, and you are closer than you think. Sometimes we forget that the universe is far more intelligent than our plans. We think we know what we need. We think we know the right timing, the right path, the right outcome. But God sees a much bigger picture. He sees what you cannot see. He knows what you do not know. So when your plans fail, when doors close, when your expectations collapse, it is simply the universe protecting you from something that would have harmed you, or limited you, or led you away from your true destiny. Stress feels like resistance. But what if it is actually guidance, pulling you away from whatever is not aligned with who you are meant to become, moving you toward a purpose that is bigger than anything you ever imagined for yourself? You may not understand it now, but one day you will look back and smile, because everything that stressed you out was actually building you, preparing you, elevating you. We always want the blessing to arrive quickly. We want success now, peace now, clarity now. But anything rushed is often fragile. God is not building you for a moment. He is building you for a lifetime. And that takes time, patience, and yes, stress. The most beautiful chapters of your story are being written in the moments where you feel the least comfortable, but the least certain, the least confident. Because growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in the unknown, when your heart is trembling, when your soul is stretching, when life is pushing you to become more than who you were yesterday. Right now, your stress might be trying to teach you trust. Trusting that even when everything seems uncertain, God is certain. Even when life feels out of control, God is in control. Even when you feel weak, God is strong within you. True faith is not believing when everything is perfect. True faith is believing even when everything appears to be falling apart. It is holding on to hope when doubt is screaming in your mind. It is choosing to believe in light even while standing in darkness. There is a blessing coming that will make sense of this entire season. The stress you feel is not a sign to give up. It is a sign that you are getting closer, closer to the breakthrough, closer to the answer, closer to the peace you have been longing for. Life does not test you to break you. It tests you to reveal you, to uncover the resilience, the courage, the wisdom that has always been inside you. You are not discovering something new. You are remembering who you are, a soul that is capable of rising again and again, a soul that cannot be defeated. Think of the times in your past where you thought, I'll never make it through this, and yet here you are. You made it. You survived every challenge, every heartbreak, every disappointment. And that means you will survive this too, because this stress is temporary, but God's plan is eternal. You may feel like you are being pushed to your limit. But what if God is simply showing you what your true limit actually is? What if you are far stronger than you believe? What if your capacity for growth is far larger than your fear wants you to think? We are so afraid to lose control. But losing control is often the first step in discovering divine alignment. Because as long as we cling to our own plans, we block God's much greater plan. Sometimes God allows stress to loosen your grip, to remind you to surrender. Surrender is not weakness. It is the ultimate strength. It is saying, I trust the path, even when I can't see the destination. It is saying, I trust the timing, even when everything feels delayed. It is saying, I trust God, even when I feel afraid. When you surrender, you allow miracles to enter your life. You create space for blessings that are far beyond your imagination. You invite peace to take the place of panic, hope to take the place of fear, faith to take the place of anxiety. The stress you feel today is the bridge to the blessing you will celebrate tomorrow. The weight you carry now is shaping the strength you will rely on for the rest of your life. Pain is temporary, but the transformation that grows from it is lasting. You will not feel like this forever. Soon this stress will become a testimony of how God lifted you, how God protected you, and how God loved you enough to not let you stay where you were. God is not interested in giving you ordinary outcomes. He is preparing something extraordinary, something so beautiful that when you receive it, you will cry tears not of stress, but of overwhelming gratitude. The most powerful trees grow in the strongest storms. The brightest stars shine in the darkest skies, and the most powerful versions of us emerge from seasons of pressure. And isn't it amazing that despite everything, you are still growing, still believing, still hoping? The stress didn't destroy you. Lucio awakened you and made you aware of your inner strength. It reconnected you with your spiritual core. It reminded you that you are supported by a force far greater than anything against you. God has placed something within you that cannot be taken away, something that cannot be defeated by fear, something that cannot be crushed by stress. That something is your divine purpose. No amount of pressure can erase what God put inside your soul. So breathe. Take a moment and trust that every step of your journey is guided, even the stressful ones, especially the stressful ones. Soon, what once stressed you will begin to bless you. Opportunities will appear out of nowhere. People will show up who support your dreams. Doors will open that you never even knocked on. And suddenly, you will realize that God was working the entire time, behind every delay, every frustration, every fear. Your story is not stuck. It is unfolding. Your path is not blocked. It is being redirected. Your stress is not your enemy. It is your evolution. God is turning pressure into progress and worry into wonder. Everything is happening for you, not to you. And soon, you will understand why. There comes a moment in every journey when you realize that the very stress that made you doubt yourself is the same stress that helped you discover yourself. You look back and see the strength that was quietly growing inside you, the faith that was stretching every time something felt uncertain, the courage that appeared every time life felt overwhelming. And you recognize that without those stressful experiences, you would not have become the person you are today. God has a mysterious way of turning your breaking points into turning points. When you feel like you are at the edge, ready to collapse, He doesn't let you fall. He lifts you. He guides you into a new direction, a new season, a new reality, where all the pieces suddenly make sense. The blessing that is coming into your life will feel different, because this time you will know that you earned it with your patience. You earned it with your perseverance. You earned it with your faith in moments when doubt tried to take over every thought in your mind. Stress tried to break you, but instead it built a stronger version of you. It unlocked a deeper awareness, a deeper gratitude, a deeper trust in God's timing. You will no longer fear the storms, because now you know that every storm brings rain that helps you grow. There is something incredible about a soul that refuses to give up, a soul that keeps believing in miracles even when life looks impossible, a soul that whispers, "I will rise again," even while trembling, and that soul is yours. Every time you thought you were alone, God was walking next to you, holding every tear you cried, listening to every prayer you whispered in silence. Even when you doubted him, he never doubted you. Even when you lost faith for a moment, he kept working behind the scenes for your victory. You are divinely supported, divinely guided, divinely protected, which means nothing can stop the blessing that God has already written for your life. Not stress, not delay, not fear, not people, nothing. So breathe again. Feel the weight slowly lifting from your heart. Feel the peace slowly returning. Feel the hope rising again, because this is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a new chapter filled with breakthroughs, abundance, and blessings beyond anything you ever imagined. Soon you will look back at this moment and say, this is when everything started changing. This is when you realized the stress was not destroying you. It was delivering you to something greater. You were being shaped for something important, something meaningful, something only you can carry into this world. The universe does not waste pain, and God does not waste stress. Every emotion you felt, every challenge you've faced, every uncertainty you've endured has purpose. It has been molding you into the exact person who is ready for the blessing that is about to show up in your life. There will be days in the future when everything feels light again, when you wake up excited, peaceful, grateful, and on those days, you will remember the stress you once carried, and you'll think, if I never went through that darkness, I would not have learned how to appreciate the light. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is simply take a deep breath and say, I trust the process, because the process is what builds you, the process is what tests you, the process is what transforms you, and the blessing is the reward for trusting the process, even when you wanted to give up. You are being transformed right now, not by comfort, but by challenge, not by certainty, but by faith, not by easy days, but by the hard days that made you discover what you're truly made of. You are entering a season where everything will fall into place beautifully. The stress will fade, the confusion will clear, the fears will dissolve, and the blessing will arrive right on time. You will meet the right people. You will receive the right opportunities. You will be in the right places, because alignment happens effortlessly when you trust God's timing more than your own worries. There is a quiet power growing inside your soul, a power that no stress can take away, a power that nothing outside of you can destroy, and that power will lead you into a life filled with purpose, filled with love, filled with a peace that no circumstance can shake. The stress you feel now is just a final test before the blessing arrives, a test of patience, a test of faith, a test of your willingness to believe in what you cannot yet see. Hold on a little longer. Take one more step, one more breath, one more prayer, because you are closer than you think. Much closer. The day will come when you wake up and everything makes sense. You will understand why this season was necessary. You will thank God for not letting things work out the way you once begged for. You will realize the stress was not a burden. It was a blessing in disguise, preparing you for a life that is fuller, richer, deeper. So lift your head and trust that every moment is unfolding exactly as it needs to. Trust that God is turning your stress into strength, your fear into faith, and your struggle into a blessing so beautiful that it will take your breath away. Your breakthrough is coming. Your miracle is coming. Your blessing is coming. And when it arrives, you will look at your past stress and say, it was all worth it. Because God never takes you into a storm without already planning the rainbow that follows. And your rainbow is almost here.